Hello, welcome back. I hope everyone had an amazing Valentine's weekend. Hopefully you did something at least for yourself, if nothing else. I am excited for today's episode. It's going to be all about the power of positive self-talk. But before we get into that, it wouldn't be Java and Joy without some Java. The joy is coming. So make sure you grab your favorite beverage of choice. If you don't like coffee, that's okay. Grab some tea, some water, whatever works for you. Take a nice sip. And while you're doing that, let's do our body scan. Start from the top of your head, work your way down, and just be aware of where you are holding stress and tension. So maybe your jaw's tight, your shoulders might be hunched, you might be clenching your fist, your knees might be kind of like clenched together. Release it all. Leave it all behind you. All the problems, all the worries, everything will still be there. But for the next few minutes, we're going to be here in a positive place and bettering ourselves and just focusing on you. You are the focus while you are listening or watching. However you're consuming this media, this is your time. So make it your time. Make the best of your time. Relax and just be present. And while we are talking about positive self-talk, I want you to be very mindful of how you speak to yourself internally on a regular basis. Here's the reality. We do not speak kindly to ourselves. At least most of us don't. We are our biggest critics. We are so hard on ourselves. We are more forgiving and more kind to strangers than we are to ourselves. Think about that. When you look in the mirror sometimes and you're like, oh, I hate the way this looks or that. Let's say you look and you say, I don't like the way my nose looks. Would you tell someone else that? Would you walk up to someone in a grocery store and say, I don't like the way your nose looks? No. At least not any sane person would do that. It'd be so unkind, right? But why do we say it to ourselves? And here's the real problem. The more we say these things to ourselves, the more we believe them. We start to think that something's actually wrong with our nose. Our nose is our nose. It's our one and only nose. We should love it. We should show it kindness. But we are so not nice to ourselves. And this is where positive self-talk can become so powerful. Like anything else, this is a habit that has to be developed. It's going to take practice. It's going to feel awkward and unnatural and goofy and all the things at first. But stick with me here. Positive self-talk can be done in, multiple ways. You could, and this is my personal way of practicing positive self-talk, you could do it in a form of a daily morning mantra. Now, of course, you have morning mantras that are like, you can do this and you got it. I am going to make today successful. That is all still positive self-talk. But what you're not doing is telling yourself or reminding yourself of what you like about yourself. You're just saying what you're planning on doing, what your goals are, which is great. Keep doing that. If you're not already doing it, start. But you need to pick a morning mantra, or this could be a bedtime mantra, a lunchtime mantra. Doesn't matter. But you need to pick something where you're talking to yourself in a positive way. Not who you want to be later, who you hope to be, who you're planning to be. No. Something you love about you now. This could be a physical trait, mental trait, spiritual trait, something based on your personality, whatever. But you need to pick things that you need to start telling yourself, even if you don't believe them, because you're probably not going to, at least not at first. You'll start to believe them over time. Now, I do want to go over a few examples so we can get those creative juices flowing. I know I'm the type of person who's like, could you give me some examples, please? I have trouble thinking about things and just coming up with things out of thin air. Who else is like that? I need something to get started. Just an example so I can see where we're going, right? So here are a few that I have used, that some of my coaching clients have used, but I don't want you to limit yourself to some of these we're going to talk about. I want you to dig deeper. I want you to pick out things that you currently dislike about yourself. This doesn't have to be a body part. This could be if you feel like you are lazy, not smart, whatever. Pick things that you notice that you think about yourself. Because remember, when you're thinking it, you're telling yourself that. Your thought is telling you what you are. And that's why it becomes so toxic, because your thoughts will just keep going and going and going. And if you don't start pumping in some positive, the negative is just going to take over. But here's the great thing. The more positive things you add, the less room there is for negative. How awesome is that? So you want to overload with positive so that you can crowd out all the negative. I know it's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, with practice, start with one thing a day and then start adding and adding and adding. And before you know it, you're going to be your biggest cheerleader. That's exciting. Like, who doesn't want to be like their own champion, their own, pep rally? I want to be standing in the mirror talking about, I'm awesome, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm successful, whatever. And those are already a few examples, by the way, of things you could be telling yourself. But here's a few more. You could do simple phrases like that. I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm worthy. See where I'm going with that? But you can also kind of expand on those. Maybe you say, I am capable, I am strong, and I will conquer today's challenges. Do you see how I took a normal morning mantra? I will conquer today's challenges. But I'm kind of, starting off with something about me first. I am capable, I am strong, and I will conquer today's challenges. How much more powerful do you feel about conquering today's challenges when you're telling yourself how capable and strong you are? You're reinforcing the habit that you want to create or to conquer. You could even bookend it. Maybe we move the words around a little. How about, I am capable. I will conquer today's challenges because I am strong. I'm a personal fan of bookending. But again, if you just want to do, I am strong or I am capable for now, that's okay. Baby steps. Because something is better than nothing, and progress is progress, always. Here's another one. I am grateful for the opportunity to contribute my awesome talents and skills at work today. So I didn't just say, I'm going to be awesome at work today. I said, I'm going to contribute my awesome skills and talents. I'm not just awesome. I have awesome skills and talents. Things that are unique to me. Things that I bring to the table that make me an amazing employee. So again, reinforcing things that you want to love about yourself but also how they can contribute to your goals. Now, maybe you don't believe you have skills and talents. I promise you do. There are things that you can do that other people can't. End of story. We all have different personalities. We all have different strengths. There is some skill you have that not everyone has. It could be as simple as attention to detail. Maybe you're great at organizing, scheduling, following up. Maybe you're just great at talking to people. Maybe your customer service is just on point. Whatever, that's a skill. And not everyone has it, believe me. We could go to any public place right now and quickly realize that customer service is not always top notch. So, again, you don't have to really believe it about yourself now, but the more you start telling yourself how awesome these traits are, it's kind of like self-manifestation. Not only will you believe it, but it will become even more true than it already was. I'm a huge advocate on manifestation, by the way. Just ask any of my clients, my team. They will tell you that I believe in manifestation. Okay, let's do another one. How about one that's just straightforward on complimenting yourself? I am focused, disciplined, and motivated. Again, let's break this down a little. How much better do you feel about accomplishing today's tasks or goals when you tell yourself you're motivated? I am motivated. Versus, I am going to do this new hard thing today, or I am going to stick to my new goal. If you come in and say, I am motivated, well, guess what? Half the work's done, because the getting motivated is the hardest part of getting things done. So just tell yourself right off the bat, I am motivated. You just won like half the battle by saying that. I am focused, I am disciplined. If you know me, focus is not a strong suit for me. However, if I go in going, oh, I just can't focus, I can't get anything done, guess what? I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to get anything done today going in like that. But if I say, I am focused, not I'm going to be focused, I'm going to try. No. I am focused. Your mind will begin to believe that, and it will follow suit. Our minds are so incredibly powerful. It's unbelievable. It really, truly is. It really, truly is. Okay, so a couple more examples here. And these are ones that I really want you to, where I said like dig deep. What are things you truly say to yourself that are unkind, that you truly believe, and it's a negative thing? Those are the ones that are going to have the biggest impact. So if you believe that you're not worthy, and that's a big one. It's a big one for a lot of my clients. First of all, yes, you are. You are. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy to live an amazing life. You are worthy to be happy. End of story. But you got to start telling yourself that story. And you got to start telling it every day, because then it becomes a true story to you. So those are the ones I really hope that you'll focus on and choose as your new daily, I'm going to call it morning mantra, but again, bedtime, whatever time works for you, it's fine. Maybe it's your afternoon coffee time. Maybe it's while you're listening or watching an episode of Java and Joy. Maybe you have a drink. Take a deep breath and tell yourself, I am worthy. I recommend that you eventually work it into several times a day. You just start telling yourself this. You just start filling all the cracks and crevices and open spaces in your brain with positivity. And then eventually it's going to have to start crowding out the negative to make more room for the positive. And I don't expect this to have, life-changing things happen to you like tomorrow. Okay. This is going to take practice. But every day you do it, you will start to see a difference. You'll start to see how incredibly powerful positive self-talk can be. So here's your assignment. Not only do I want you to, speak kindly to yourself, which you should, and I want you to come up with at least one. Bonus points if you do 2, 3, or more a day that you're going to say to yourself. But I don't want you to just come up with them. I want you to put them on Post-it notes. I know I'm like the Post-it note queen. Sorry, not sorry. If you don't have Post-it notes, napkins work. I don't care if it's a piece of toilet paper. Find something and write it on there and put it in a place where you know you're going to see it at least once a day. Because here's the problem. Out of sight, out of mind. I love Post-it notes. Calendar reminders are good too if they actually work and they actually notify you in some way. If it's something where you have to go look at your calendar to see it, not gonna work. Alarms on your phone, incredible. Those are so hard to ignore. Maybe you pick a time of day, set an alarm on your phone for that, and just put self-love or positive self-talk time, something like that. But put those Post-it notes around. Trust me on this. You can get pretty ones too. I have like some of the cutest Post-it notes, little hearts and stars, and I have little kissy lip ones that I leave my husband notes on all the time. Get creative if you want to, but I always like to encourage too to say, like, if you don't have the means or the funds or just the willpower or the want to buy Post-it notes, that's okay. Just write it on stuff. You'll find stuff. Scrap paper. Okay? So that's your assignment, is to come up with at least one positive self-talk, either phrase or full mantra, whatever. Put it on a Post-it note and do it every day. Start with one if you want, and then add. Try to get to like 3 a day if you could over the next few weeks. And please keep me informed. I love hearing your stories so much. And I'm actually planning on inviting some of my clients and viewers and listeners onto my podcast for future episodes to talk about some of these things that we've been going over in these episodes and how it hasn't affected them and how they've overcome things and how they're reaching their goals, what it's done to change their mindset, all these kinds of things. And I'm also going to have people bringing in new ideas, fresh ideas, things that they've done that's worked for them to add value to you guys, to my audience. So I love feedback. Keep it coming. Another thing that I want to, kind of suggest, there's a book, you can get it on Amazon. I think it's like $8. It's pretty cheap. But it's called Coffee Self-Talk. Shocker, I know. I'm recommending a book with the word coffee in it. But it really is daily mantras for you, all in a book. So if you're just struggling to think of your own, you need an extra reminder, you want to read this book because it's just really good, to be honest, because it is. Again, it's called Coffee Self-Talk. I will drop the link in the show notes for you. It's on Amazon. I don't know if there's an audio version. I don't know, but I'll drop the book and you can take it from there if you choose. So if you're someone who likes to go above and beyond, that's going to be your book to check out. And as always, I'm going to drop links into the bottom. My free 100 plus self-care activities guide is out, completely free to anyone and everyone who just wants an easy guide to come up with ways to spend time with yourself, to enjoy your own company, to practice self-care. And it's all broken down for you, where if you only have 5 minutes, there's a list. If you've got 15 minutes, there's a list, and so on. And it's a completely free guide. So I'm dropping that link for you guys. And then my new upgraded full self-care workbook, also available now. And that one's great. It has actual workbook tasks in there for you to kind of figure out what self-care means to you, how you can fit it into your life. It even has trackers for you. Who doesn't love a tracker? I love trackers. I love being able to give myself a check mark every day when I do a good thing. And that's what these trackers are really for. They're not all check marks. Some are, different. I gave you some options. But I do think trackers are powerful too. So I will drop that in the show notes as well. And as always, my Job and Joy Club is getting ready to fully launch. So if you haven't joined that, get on board. Wonderful online community where I'm going to be doing lots of different fun challenges. And then we're even going to be doing like some giveaways and fun things in there. I'm really excited to get that kicked off. So make sure you get joined there too. But that's what I have for you today. So don't forget, be kind to yourself. Always be kind to others. That's a given. But be kind to yourself. We don't say that enough. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone else each and every day. The power of positive self-talk is incredible. So enjoy. Go practice all the goodies. I will see you again in a week. And as always, you guys, go find your joy. I'll see you next week. Bye.